Hello, everybody. It's Jody Gambini, your money coach. And if you guys didn't hear, it is, if you didn't hear, hold on, I got to turn off my little sound. Today is a bonus day. So I actually did two drawings. Um, and I'm going to announce that in a little bit. I've got the names right here of who has won so far. But if you guys are joining, let us know where you're joining from. And we're going to get started. I'm going to drop a couple of important things here. One is if you want to, and if you guys didn't, okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure that you could hear me. All right, so welcome to this is our bonus session. It is the Q&A. So we're going to do things a little bit different. So I'm just going to give, it takes a little bit of time for people to jump on, and I have a couple links I'm going to post in here. So I just want to make sure that you guys are going to see them all. Okay. How are you guys doing? I'm just going to drop a couple of things in here. And I'm on StreamYard, but I have a whole bunch of room for people to come join. So if you would like to join me, it's going to be on StreamYard. So, or if you have a question, just drop it in here. So, all right, sorry. I'm looking at a couple things here. So if you're joining, say hello. Let us know where you're joining from. All right. This is the link to come behind the scenes if you have a question. So what we're going to do is actually, if you have a question, you can drop it in the comments and I will see it. Hi, Cynthia. Oh my gosh, you're on. The amazing in Middle Tennessee. So awesome to have you. So awesome to have you. So yes, if you guys are joining, just let us know where you're joining from. I am going to have a link to come join me on StreamYard. And yeah, I would love to have you guys come join me. And sorry, I keep trying to click something. Okay. All right. So I'm just trying to post this. We streamed in a couple other places. So let me just go over. Okay, so I'm just going to drop these in here really quick. I'm going over, I streamed in a couple of other places. So start to drop your questions if you have them on any kind of financial, the 7 things that we asked, or if you, this is kind of, if you have, if I didn't cover something but you've been wondering it, you can drop this question and I'll ask it. I've got about 30 minutes or so. So yeah, so whatever you would like to ask, go ahead and do that. And if you, I would love for you to come join me on inside here and ask me a question. So if you have a problem getting on, let me know. But here is the link if you guys would like to find it and come join me. All you got to do is click on that link right there. And this is the link. You should see it in the comments of wherever you're watching from. And then you can just come right backstage and I'll bring you on if you have a question. Or you can drop your questions in here. You be rattling pots and pans. But you can listen right on. I know we have all these different time zones here. But make sure you guys say hi, and I have a couple of questions already written that somebody sent me. So I'm going to go ahead and go with those. I've got them written right here. And let me know if you've watched any of this. Has one of the things is there, you can type in the question. So Cynthia, even though you can't, oh no, the live automatically reloads. Uh-oh. Oh no, I don't know why. Okay. That's weird. Hey, Jennifer, great to have you from Washington State. I was going to do Zoom, but I can actually bring up to 10 people on here with me. So I figured this may only be happening to you. Okay. But start to drop your questions. If you don't want to come on and ask the question, but if you do, I was really hoping I'd have a few people. But if you have a question, and like I said, it could be with any of the 7 steps that I've been talking about, or it can just be in general, any kind of, maybe you're like, I don't know if it really falls under that, but here was a question I had under anything around financial, around anything. In the financial arena. If I don't know the answer, I will tell you. Let's see here. But yes, what I typed in the comments, live is freezing on my end. Then once I send, it automatically reloads. Oh, okay. I don't know why. Hopefully no one else is having that problem, but all right. By the way, thank you all who sent me birthday wishes. I just am truly so grateful to have so many amazing people in my life, and that people took time to send me a message, to write happy birthday. Those do not go like that. Is a big deal to me. That is a big deal in general. You know, sometimes I think that we put these, I call the beta Satan is offense. And I say offense is expectations. So I think sometimes people, I just turned 52. So I feel like there's something that happens when you hit into the jubilee year of 50 and on. It's just like, you know what, we got to, doesn't, you really got to appreciate what people do. That they take time, that they stopped and sent me a message. I got private messages, I got calls. I got to talk to some of my friends that I haven't talked to in a long time, and just heart to hearts and different things. And I still haven't caught up. I have all kinds of messages from my cousins and my family, and I don't even think I finished my birthday cards because I was so tired after I went out to dinner. We had all this stuff, and I've been getting up really early praying, and just all the behind the scenes to make all of this happen. So I just want to, any person that sent me a happy birthday, any person that even wrote one word of encouragement, it meant so much. I haven't even gotten to read every single thing on my wall, um, all my texts, but I just want to tell you thank you. And I also want to remind you that you may not realize little ways that you can impact others. One of my friends actually told me that she writes out a list and she just starts building it a little at a time. And then her goal is to call everybody on their birthday. Just, it's not just about wishing them happy birthday, but it's about intentionally reaching out to those people she cares about and connecting with them, because she said she's not very good with connecting. Um, yes, Cynthia, I saw your messages. Oh my gosh, like I'm just blown away. So let's get started on some questions here. I'm not seeing any come in, so I think I'm going to probably start with a couple that I have written down here. Um, All right. So sorry, I'm looking over here. So here is the first question that I had written down that somebody asked me. Um, how do you implement, I call it a money map, and I'm calling, and if you notice, yes, you can call it, I used to call it a spending plan. Um, Lots of people call it a budget, but I purposely call it mapping because the whole 7 steps is around all things mapping them out, readjusting them. Um, so yeah, it's asking how do you implement it, and then the other part of the question was what do you do if you think you have something you're tracking and you're not quite sure. Those are both good questions. So how do you implement it? I'm going to say honestly, you start somewhere. You make um, on step 2, I call it the 90-day money mapping plan. And it is just that you start writing everything out. Here's one really easy tip that I would tell you. If you have access to a printer, or you have your bank statements, grab the last 2 statements. Okay. It'd be a really easy way. And then also go look for any credit cards that you have, if you have credit card statements, and print them out. Literally go 30 days to 60 days. You're going to probably miss some things, and that's okay, but it's going to help you begin somewhere. Um, I I think that there is something around using some paper and gathering things, but however it works for you, um, it I always say simple is best. So if you're a total Word document person, if you love to gather them all virtually, however you want to do it. But I will tell you, I think if you can print out most banks, you can go online now, you can go and print out your statement. I would just start with 1 month. Normally statements are printed out once a month. So I would not look at online. You can go look from right now, right? I'm actually going to say, like, just start, print that out if you want to. Sometimes it's not very printer friendly, is my experience. When you go print a statement, it's printer friendly, and it's a 30-day glance. So even though it may not be it may not have the most recent things in the last 15 days because it's like the 19th. So most statements cut the last day of the month. At least you're going to be close with it. The same thing with any credit cards, any if you have mortgage statements, anything like that, if it comes out of your checking account, then don't worry about it, because if you cover 30 days, you're going to catch it all. But the credit card is important because it on your bank statement, it's not going to show the balance. It's not going to show expenses that you have. Maybe you do business expenses, maybe you do different things. So I would say, and then if you happen to have a most recent statement of like your electricity bill, your phone bill, your all of these streaming things that you do, most of those automatically come out though of your bank statement. So if you start with your bank statement first and your credit card. So if you don't have any credit card statements, then that is totally awesome. Somebody said this is an excellent tip. Thank you for that. Yeah, so here's the other tip that I'll give around that is grab one of those, the big envelopes. They're kind of like manila envelopes. If you have that handy, grab that. If you don't, grab like a folder. Let me see if I can. Can't reach one over here. Just grab a plain old manila folder and just start putting everything in. The one thing that helps is as you grab things, you have one place. That's what I'd always have people is they were going to bring all their things in. But I would say, no matter how you're tracking it, if you could say that you don't know the line items, how much are we spending for our groceries? And groceries are groceries, guys. It's not toilet paper, it's not those other things. And so if you can say that you're not aware of that, or here's the thing, even if you're saying your only way you look at them is as statements, that's better than nothing, but that is not going to be an active money mapping strategy. And you will not get the results that you want, and that's okay. Hey, if you guys don't like, if you're, it's going to take some discipline. So the first thing I would do is just time map out, practice this. Even if you have to do 15 minutes every 2 times a day until you get it. Put it on your calendar. Have something that's easy that you can grab it right wherever it's at. I don't care where. I don't know. I have an office from home, so the best place for me, I have a bunch of little folders over here. All, you can't see it, but over there. So the best place for me is that when I walk in, having it central in one place. It might be wherever your printer is, and that way you build it. Okay. Then your next step is going to be, you've got to map out time to do it. Okay. So that was step number 3, I believe, but you have to make a time map. To start with baby steps. Okay. Baby steps. Let's see. One person says here, all my bills go in one spot, been using that one spot for years. Awesome. So it sounds like you actually have a lot of this stuff. Um, Honestly, the thing I always collected when I was helping people was I collected, sorry, my husband's, I collected their bank statements because I could see a lot in that. Okay. Yeah, so I collected bank statements only because most of the stuff comes out of there. If you have more than one bank, um, then you might need to print out. But the second step that's almost probably more important, if I'm thinking about it now, is you need to give yourself, block it on your calendar. So for the next, depends how fast you want to do it. Okay. But have it on your calendar and keep putting a time block on your calendar. And you can move it on your calendar, but, and I'm just going to say, if you've got 30 minutes, awesome. If you've got an hour, if you've got a time frame where you can block, but if you don't, just start saying, okay, you know what? Right before I get ready for bed, or right when I wake up, or right after I clean the dish, whatever that looks like for you, I'm going to set my alarm for 15 minutes. I'm going to go in and start to gather stuff for just 15 minutes or 30 minutes. Just set your alarm and do as much as you can, and then go back to it. So making a time mapping plan for this little practice is going to be a great practice for you. And then it's also going to be a great way for you to move forward with it. So the time mapping part is huge, and it doesn't have to be complicated. Some people handwrite out their calendar. Honestly, worst case scenario, if you just can't, like, I get it, a lot's going on right now. Set yourself an alarm. Set yourself an alarm for when you want to do it. That's the other great time mapping thing I would say. So even if you have it scheduled, I have a separate alarm on my phone, and it almost sounds like the ice cream truck. Like it has this whole thing. So I set it actually to remind myself I got to go make dinner. Okay, so every time that goes off. So if there's something you want to remind yourself of, this could be one. You're going to set it. You're like, okay, I think that I could do it at 7:45 at night. So set it for 7:45 for the next 7 days. And then it's going to go off every single time, and it's going to remind you. All right, I think I've got a couple people coming behind the scenes. I think I've got Rivka behind. Would you like to come on? You want me to bring you on? I saw your camera went down. So I'm just gonna wrap this question up. Um, that's the beginner. The other thing would be, invite all the people that live in your house, or are part of this. Okay, so if you are married, make it something that you guys can commit to together. I was just talking to one of my old clients, and I was so proud because we were talking about how she's a real estate agent. And so things have really drastically dropped, and she's been in the industry for a long time. So she knew that the first thing they had to do was really start to be able to cut things. So she was sharing about their cable and all of that, and that they were literally spending $350 a month, and they got it down to 50. They canceled their cable, they moved it to 2 streams, and her and her hubby did it together, which was huge, because when I first started to work with them, she would do it all and he didn't do any. So um make just a time frame, but worst case scenario, just set your clock and say, okay, hey, we're going to go gather everything, or whatever it is. If you want to just do the gathering, do it. My biggest thing would be to start somewhere. Okay, let's see here. Rivka, whenever you're ready, turn your camera back on and I'll bring you on. This says, I pay the bills on the same day every month. It is scheduled in my Outlook calendar. Okay, the bills are great. I'm not sure who this is. I'm talking about, so the bills are great that you have that part planned out. That is an important step, so that you have something, so they're being paid. But that's not tracking it. That is not doing money mapping. That is not laying out a spending plan. That is just your, and most of the time those are automatic bills. So you've got the bills that come out every single month. It is super important, though. One step I would say is, when you're looking at those bills, make sure you compare last month and the month before. I'm hearing, and this always happens, they sometimes charge you extra fees. They sometimes accidentally charge to something. So one step would be to make sure when you pay, you look back and see what you paid. If you're tracking it month to month somehow, you will be able to see that. But those are set bills. Then you have all the reoccurring, like the expenses that fluctuate. Okay, going to the grocery store, going out to eat, um, buying tickets for something, all these, buying office supplies, buying Christmas gifts. all these other things that don't always happen the same. So that's why the fixed bills, you can add those onto your money map, and you want to track it, because if you notice the prices go up, that's really important, because now you've got to readjust your money plan. You've got to readjust it, because that means that you have more money coming in. So I hope that answers that question. I've still got to go back and watch day one, but I've been seeing the others, listening. Awesome. You live by alarms. Yeah, they're great to do. But this is like getting started on implementing your money plan or your spending plan. If you didn't watch day one, guys, go back and watch day one. Um, we did do a deeper dive on all of this. If you um, you can still purchase the VIP, and you will get all of them, and you'll get to keep them. Um, and we did a way bigger, deeper dive, especially on day one. So every day we did another hour. So if you want more, I, I would I would highly recommend it. But the biggest thing is that, because I went into even more detail on the behind the scenes, the greatest part is that you have a plan that is fluctuating. So, yeah, I had another question asking how do I even figure out how to time it? Like, how do I know the timing is right? Um, Honestly, I'm just going to be really honest. I've had several private conversations, several people sending me messages that like that, just things are much tougher than anybody knows. And this is not a surprise to me, but in the last 2 to 3 years between COVID and now, prices are going up and going up. If you probably haven't gotten raises that have matched it, meaning if you're now spending an extra 20 to 30% more on your outgoing bills, but your income has not increased by 30%, you're going to probably quite a few different things. One you may notice is that, um, you trying to think of how to say this. Um, you might have had to start to put things on credit cards. You might have, like you're like, how did my credit cards get up this high? And then that's another whole thing, guys. I didn't even get into credit and all of that stuff, but then what happens is those credit cards have percentages and things. So I would say, even if you feel that you are doing things well, um I, I would really say that now is the time for everybody, to start to gather it. Always at the end of the last quarter of the year, you want to do that anyway. You want to look at, what was I spending 6 months ago or a year, and what am I spending now? What do I need to readjust? I mean, I don't know. You may have to go get some more income in. You may have to, if that's not an option. Oh, okay. Um, Rivka left. Rivka, if you're watching, you were behind the scenes. I wanted you to come back on, but I didn't see your camera, so I didn't want to bring you on without your camera on. But that's okay if you want to come back. I guess I should have brought you. I thought you had gone away. I didn't know that maybe I could have just brought you on if you didn't want to be on camera. So if you want to come back, go ahead and come back. But I really feel, I was talking to several people, and I think people don't look at, history like I have done my whole career. That's like part of picking, investments, part of looking at things. It's really important to understand where you are in a cycle, what's going on. Here's the thing most people don't realize: this, whatever they want to call it, inflation, it there is only two other times in the last 100 years that this has ever happened. And the only times inflation have happened have been a really specific thing. And it's not been that this time. So never, because I was tracking it. And it's so funny because I talk to people and people are just like, oh, Jody, it's not that big of a deal. No, you don't understand. It is a big deal. When you track things like I've tracked things for 27 years, I mean, that's a long time. That's 3 different decades. Um, and I don't think you realize that. So I started doing this in 1997. Okay. Um, the last time there was even a recession was in the late 80s, but the only other inflation was the early 80s. And then I believe it was like the 1940, it was either World War One or World War Two. So I don't have the exact thing to tell you to do. Um, but it's never increased this fast, ever, 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 ever. I mean, gas prices from 2020 to 2023 have increased. Most I'm in California, so it's much higher, but they were about $2.20 right now. As of yesterday, when we were driving to go to my birthday dinner, they were gosh, how much were they? They were $5.59. That's over a $3 increase. If you add up the percentage, that is over 100% increase. It's about 120% increase. Normally, inflation, if you look at the inflation rate right now, if you saw a true inflation rate, I can guarantee you it's off the charts. So I say all this because even if you feel like you're tracking it, you need to readjust. You need to readjust your plan, because I can promise you everything's going up. And right now, I'm seeing some really crazy things on my bills. So making time, so tracking what you spent each month and where you can actually look at it is really important. Okay, I don't know who this is. But it says, is there a free spreadsheet to start tracking? I have Mint on my phone, but also have another account just for business, not connected to Mint. Um, so there are different forms out there. Here, I don't know who this is, but I probably could grab my phone and see it. So, okay, God, how do I answer this? Okay. Oh, it's Rivka. Okay. Okay. Um, the free, I haven't really found one. I thought Mint had a spreadsheet. I'm not really sure why you don't have all your accounts go into on Mint and use it. I thought Mint you can build more than one, Rivka. I would say that there are you can go on gosh, what is the Google one? Spreadsheets? Google Sheets, I think. If you have Excel, or if you have Excel, you can go into Excel and there's a package you can put in budget. That's not normally what it's under, and you can build a budget sheet. Um, but yeah, so let's see. I You could even type in budget sheets, and I would encourage you to do it on Excel or Sheets, because you want to be able. The best way is to upload it Quicken, but I'm not really sure why you don't have all your bank accounts go into that. Um, Quicken or QuickBooks, you can upload all of your banking stuff, but they are going to charge you. They're going to charge you to do those things. And so I do have an exciting announcement, except it won't be for free. When I was an active financial planner, because we weren't allowed to charge for anything, I only gave these sheets that I had created out to my financial planning or my existing clients. But I just got off the phone today because if you weren't following, I lost the sheets that we had created. Um, and they were all Excel based. But what I have found is sometimes that is the best way to do it, because I've been searching now for a while to find one that I feel allows you to fill all the things in. And honestly, it's great to have all your bank accounts uploaded, but sometimes the biggest part you need to do is have what you think your monthly budget is for everything, and entering it every 7 days and just typing it in accumulatively, and then seeing the percentages back and forth. So to me, hi Matthew. Um, yeah. So if I would tell you one thing that's the most important that I don't see on a lot of these is tracking, writing out what you're going to spend and what you think you spend, and tracking it every single month, and then having a place where you can look at month after month. And so it's normally 2 columns. I was looking for something. Also, something like this is really awesome that you can put your bills on. Um, Something like this, that, see how you're writing out items. I do a separate one for my business. Um, yeah, I do a separate one for my business, Rivka. But the good news I have, is I actually have somebody helping me create what I created back in like 2007 or 8, but he's actually like like professional Excel spreadsheet guy. And I just got off, we had a great call this morning, and he is building me them. So I am going to have these available. I'm probably going to also be selling it in like a package. And then I also have something we are launching and starting, and it's called Financial Breakthrough Mentorship. And it's going to be an 8-week program. You're going to I'm actually going to walk through and help you. I'm going to give you the tips. We're going to go over all the different things. We're going to do some additional things like dreaming with God for our finances. What do we want to accomplish in the 8 weeks? So it won't be a full 90-day challenge, but I'm gonna, in that time frame, that would give me 2 full months to work with you, and we can review everything. So that is what I am launching, and it's going to be, registration is going to be opening tomorrow, I believe, and we're going to be starting in a week or so. So if you're interested in that, I actually just, for my birthday, I'm reducing all the prices of all my stuff. And the Lord told me I have not even launched this yet, but he told me that I needed to do a discount for it. Um, you like the name? Yeah. So it actually came from my breakthrough mentorship group that I did. And so we're actually going to look at our fears. We're going to look at a lot of different things in it. So it's going to be 1 hour a week on Zoom. All recordings are available, but it would be super great if you can show up and make it every week, because it's going to be like a boot camp intensive. And so I'm going to help you with all of it. So I am going to make it where there will be like 6 to 8 payments that you can make. It would be like every week, but I feel like I know what I carry, and I probably will be able to help you be able to make some decisions where you might be able to cut your money in some places. We will also deal with businesses. So I think I saw somebody say, let's see here, what did you say, Matthew? What business advice can you give me on booking and how to track payroll? I started my business a few months ago and all of this is new to me and I don't know right now. Okay, so I will give you one step, but in the financial breakthrough, I'm going to be walking through both personal and business because a lot of people have both. I may probably do another masterclass or something more over on the business side, but let me give you a couple really basic things, Matthew. Number one, you've got to know what you're currently spending on your personal bills, okay? Because if you've got payroll coming out, you really need to know what you have to break even with before you pay anybody else. I don't know if you're asking me like where to have the payroll come out. There's a couple different ways. If you are doing it more as independent contractors, which honestly, as business, that's what I try to do. I don't really put anybody on payroll because a lot of it is contract work, whether it's a coach, whether it's somebody that's my VA. And so they file their own taxes as a business. So I just have to track it and then I just report it, what I spent. You're a 1099 business and you're okay. So that's great. That means that you're going to have to create 1099s though. So you're probably going to have to I forget if it's Quicken or QuickBooks. I think it's Quicken actually owns Intuit, which is a payroll processing company. And so sometimes it's worth if you have actual payroll. So I guess number one, how are you going to be paying them? But tracking it and making some kind of tracking sheet and documenting it is going to be key. Because number one, if you have to cut your expenses, you now see month after month what the tracking is. Not to mention, you need to track each person because if they hit over a certain amount, you're going to have to give them a 1099, unless they're their own 1099. So tracking is key. The other is whatever your expenses are going to be. Because if you're paying other people, you've got to make sure. I know it sounds really basic, trust me, but I have seen this over and over and over. Right now, you got the money, but later, if you don't track every single thing, things can add up and you're like, and then it becomes a snowball. I can't pay the people, so I have to go run and figure out how I can pay them. Now I've already hit the next month. I'm already 15 days behind to be able to meet the next payroll. So knowing and budgeting it, and I always say, I would have it in my emergency fund. So I went over buckets on and the first bucket is your emergency fund. So if you're a business owner, you better be putting money into savings, a bucket, and you better have an earmarked dollar amount of how much you need. Personally, if you have payroll, you better have 3 months of payroll built up. If you don't have that, then I would really go very, very slowly of how many employees you're going to bring in. Those are, I don't know if those are fun facts. So let's see here what you're saying, Matthew. I pay my employees with written checks from a business account and I make copies of it for the end of the year. Okay, that's really good. That's really, really good. But if it were me, I think that it's important. That's just one business expense. So employees are a business expense. And then how are you currently tracking all of your income coming in so that you know, are you breaking even? Are you making a lot more money? so you know what's going on. So I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, so bookkeeping and tracking, QuickBooks or Quicken are really good because you can normally upload your business accounts. You can upload everything. You can even earmark it. So you could have one account go into one place and you can have, you like to track it. So, you know, like if one's coming from your business account, you can track it. And if another's coming from another place, you can track it. So I hope I answered that question. Okay. So another question somebody asked me was, how often should I be reviewing my financials? So if you don't know what that even means, it means I used to do financial reviews for people at least once a year. And they would bring in their bank statements and they would bring in everything, and we would check things. We would look at their investments to see if you miss the four buckets lesson. Bucket 3 and 4 are where you might have your investments invested a little bit more aggressively, but it's really important that you review them and review what's going on in your life. So, looking at sitting down with a financial professional is normally great. Or if you have somebody like me who I do money and financial coaching, and you can hire me for an hour. Or I'm not going to give you any advice on how to invest it because I'm not actively using my stockbroker's license anymore. But if you needed help with that, I could definitely contact you with somebody. So I hope that answers another question that somebody asked me. So somebody asked me, once I get this routine down and start tracking and finish the 90 days of tracking what I think I spend and my actual, what would the next step be? And my answer is going to be to go back and look where you might be able to cut some money, where you might be able to allocate it into a goal you're wanting to accomplish. We talked about bucket number 2. Bucket number 2 is for goals that you want to accomplish. But anybody that watched the buckets, I say that you've got to fill up your emergency bucket first. And it should be 3 to 9 months of all of your bills. And if you have a business and you have personal, then it needs to be 3 to the combined of both. That needs to be until that container, that bucket is filled up and you know what the dollar amount is. I would not be saving anywhere else. It's the most critical thing. I cannot express that enough. And so, but once you look at that, you always want to keep going back and looking at um, your money plan, and where you can shift things, where you can change things, because things change. Like we have inflation going on right now, which is really intense. So we're going to do one more bonus session. Um, Drop in here if there's any more questions. I'll be able to see them come up. I'll know the ones that I didn't answer. And I'm actually gonna probably share a couple of additional things. If anybody has more questions, drop them and I will answer those. And then I'm gonna actually share some more details with you of what this financial breakthrough um, program is gonna look like and what we're gonna be offering. And I also, like I said, we are working really hard on having a package put together that would help you grab all your statements, kind of have a checklist for everything, and then begin to track. Um, and so it will be a package that you can kind of DIY, or if you wanted to bring me in for 1 hour to help you with it, I can, that is my separate sessions that you can do. Or if you want to join the program, I'm trying to make it really affordable because I am feeling a fire in my belly of how important this is right now, especially for those people that serve the Lord, because it's something that's been overlooked. We don't make the time to time map and to money map and to know what we're supposed to be putting in for an emergency fund. And with the cost of everything going to a new level than it's never gone before, I feel like even if you feel like on a scale of 1 to 10, you're doing everything right, maybe you're an 8, I feel like with all of this shift and change going on, that you could do even better. So we're going to continue this group in here, and I'm going to probably continue to bring some other things that will be different than Camp Gambini, because I am just feeling we're still going to do Camp Gambini, but I'm feeling an urgency to really I actually have paused a couple of my other things, programs, because I feel like there is such an urgency around this, and to help people. And I'm going to try to make it as affordable as possible. I'm doing payment plans, um, so that you and even weekly payment plans. I've never ever done that before, but that way, if you if you're starting a new business, you don't know how to do this, I can confidently tell you this 8 weeks will, when I've worked with people, and you're actually going to get me a lot more intensive than even my old clients used to get me when I was planning. I would typically see them every 2 weeks. But we're gonna go over stuff. You can ask me questions. I'm gonna help you with things. I'm gonna show you how to do it, how to troubleshoot all the little obstacles, the little problems of tracking, all of that stuff, so that you're really focused on it. Yes, I don't know who this is, but you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, how much do I? Okay, how much do I charge for an hour? This is why I'm telling you, if you guys, and I think I'm going to do a bonus for for people that pay up front. You're going to get a bonus of possibly, I have to talk to my team, but possibly a 1 hour with me. And honestly, if there's any expenses that you could cut, even that, it would be worth it. But because I have programs, so I have a 4 session, 4 hour one-on-one program. I have an 8 session, and I have a 12 session. But if you don't do one of my programs where I deeply discount, I know you normally get about 30%, 40% off. To give you an example, my 4 one-on-one private sessions are $12.22, and I charge $500 an hour. So 4 normal sessions would be $2,000. So I deeply discount them for 2 reasons, because 1 hour normally doesn't get you the results or the commitment when you're saying, okay, I'm going to commit to doing it for this amount of time. The course, but here's the thing I want you guys to know. Tomorrow I've got some exciting things I'm going to show you, and I'm doing my birthday celebration. So it's all kind of tying in amazingly, and all my other products are going to be 50% off. So even if you wanted to grab my 4 bundle, my 8 or my 12, it's going to be 50% off. If you wanted to grab 1 session, it's going to be 50% off. So it's going to be for a very limited time. And I only have 5 openings for one-on-one. To help in areas. I have a lot of businesses normally where I help in personal and business, and in my one-on-ones I help everybody with details on all of it. But am only going to have space for 5 more people through the end of the year. So it'll be 50% off. But when I hit 5 people, then I won't be able to take any more until January, until those people either in their program and don't rebook with me, because I only have so much time in the day. So I hope that helps. And I hope that doesn't scare you, but I'm going to tell you tomorrow, you're going to want to see the prices, because this will be a one-time only price for this program, but I'm doing it because it's going to end it's going to end in the middle of December and really set you up for January. We will be reopening it, probably registering it early, because we'll start another one in January. But we'll only be doing this every 2 months. If I get enough people that are wanting to start it, I might launch another one. But I really had it planned to do the rest of October, November, and December, and then not do another one. So yeah, this is definitely going to be something you want to look at and consider and see if it's something that you can swing. Because I'm all about the financial, I'm not about scarcity. I am not about saying you've got to be in this. But I would say, if you know you're supposed to do this, don't qualify yourself by saying you don't have the money, because you're deactivating your faith and your belief. So if you know you're supposed to be in this, even once you see the price and even once you see it, I would really pray and believe for that God will make a way for you. And don't, because there's something when we prophesy negative over saying, well, I wish I could do that, but I have no money. So if you are feeling like you're supposed to do this, and if you're watching this and you know you're really good already and you wanted to contribute to somebody else, we do have a special program where I get people that donate money so that we can give scholarships to other people. So if you know anybody that is really good themselves but would love to sew into something like this, I'm not a nonprofit, so I can't give you a write-off, but just that thing of knowing that you are going to help somebody be able to do this program. So it's possible I could have some scholarships. So that's where I'm saying believe, claim it, tell me you're interested, because you never know if it is financial. But I really want to challenge you guys to not have a poverty scarcity mindset. What poverty scarcity is I don't have the money. I'm just going to tell you, I see people find money all the time for the things that they think are important to them. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying that to not have, but if you happen to have wood, and it means that you're going to, instead of putting your heater on, you're going to heat everything with wood instead. If you go, you know what, as a family, this is really important. We want what I know, like I kind of forgot. I found this article. I wrote a lot of articles back a while ago. This was one of them. It was called How to Stay on Track with Your Financial in the Financial Climate, which is really funny because there was a really challenging financial climate then, and now we have a challenging one now. But a lot of what I shared in the 7 steps is all in here because I've been teaching it and believing in it for a really long time. And I know the results that happen, and I know the ones. And so I will just say that believe if there was a scholarship, yes, I would be interested. Well, you haven't even seen the price yet. I'm just saying. Most of them will probably, if I don't have any available as of now, but if I did, they're probably going to be a partial scholarship. Um, a lot of times when I've had people in the past that know about this and they want to support it, it's a partial scholarship because there is something in putting something into it. And so I'm just saying, I have yet to sit down with somebody and look at all of their stuff and run all the numbers and not find places where they could find some money. I would say if you want to do this, here's your first assignment. Call every single bill that you have and see if there's in it. Call every single credit card and every single bill and see if there's any promotions that you qualify for to reduce the payment. It may even only be for 2 months. See if there's a program you qualify for. I literally have helped several clients right now that were going through some hard times. They qualified for a program called HEAP, and they literally got $300 to $400 for their electricity bill go forward. That's $300 that you just saved. So I'm just saying you can do the work. Maybe you've got a whole bunch of memberships. I would go through your statement and see, are there any memberships that I can give up right now? Are there any things that I can give up right now? Most people have a subscription, a membership, a something that they're at least paying $25. Most likely, if we have this, there's probably going to be like a little bit in the scholarship that you would do it. I'm not saying that it's not possible. Let's believe in all things, but I would give you a little homework to see if you can find places that you can save money. Because I was just telling the gentleman that I'm working with that's helped creating these for me. He's like, no way, Jody, are you serious? I go, yeah, I've had people buy a full $2,000 plan where I run everything for them, help them. They would come in and I would actually help build their entire money spending plan, their buckets, a whole plan. And they didn't have time to collect all their stuff and they just kept putting it off and putting it off and never came in. And it really broke my heart because these people that bought scholarships, they weren't scholarships, they buy gift certificates from me. But it really broke my heart because so I would say that there is always something you can start with right now. And if for some reason you didn't get in it, I would say that you could go back and it would be worth you paying the $44 or the $22 and get all the recordings and listen to some every single day and start to build it. Ask God to help you with it. He will help you with building. He'll bring you the resources. But I'm going to tell you, if you have not done this, if you want me to tell you the number one secret to go find yourself some money, go grab every single bill that you pay, get their phone number, have your account. You need to have the account number and ask them if there is anything you can do to reduce your payment. The number one thing, especially when things like this happen and economies rock, they normally are willing to work with you. Sometimes so I would, every single bill that you pay out, even your mortgage bill, even your insurance, this is what I would call every single one, find out what the payment is, find out if you can reduce it at all, and ones where you can't, then those are the ones you're going to circle. And the next thing you're going to do is call around and see if there's a place that you can get it for cheaper, if you can change something, if you can reduce it, if you can do something like that. That little activity I didn't even give you before, that is like free advice. I have done this for 27 years and I have never, ever, ever had it happen where if you look at every subscription and membership and call them all, even the ones, if you cancel them, you cancel them. If you're not going to cancel them, ask if they have any other program, if they have anything else. All your bills, the utilities, the phone bills, the internet, all of these things, Credit cards. Call every single credit card and ask them if they have any type of special program going on right now that you qualify for. Call your bank. Another place to find money is you might be actually spending money every month on fees for your credit cards, for your bank. Like, you need to find out all of these fees and then see if they can reduce them for you. Those are like things that you can do. Yes, I've done that before and can do it again. Awesome. Awesome. Because I'm just going to be honest, to be a good disciple of any person that would donate towards a scholarship, I'm going to want to see some of that stuff to know that if there was a partial scholarship or a scholarship, that the person that came in it was really serious. And even if you have the money, guys, like, I will promise you, if you commit to this, in 8 weeks, you will be in the habit and you will continue it. And we're probably going to have one that's going to go like a higher level, like a more advanced level one, or like a more of a mastermind that will launch after this. Or that way you can continue to have, there's something with having community and having accountability that will probably continue. But it's funny. I haven't been talking about this for quite a while. So it's like God's bringing it all back to me. And I'm like, well, I will confidently say that I know that if somebody started to work with me around their finances or around my other breakthroughs to launch something, to do something, whatever their goal was, I already know what the results are. As long as you do your work and you did it consistently for 12 months, you will be in such a different place in 12 months. The problem is we have shiny object problems, and I call it get rich quick. There is none. There is no program that you can do. There's no instant, okay, well, I'm going to spend this because they said. I see it all the time on the internet. Oh, well, if you do this, then you're going to instantly. No, it takes some other stuff. It takes some grit. It takes some time mapping. It takes a whole lot of focus. These people that say you just do this and you're going to start to make interest. There was a new gal that I've met, and she's actually over on TikTok, and she was sharing, and she's like, I'm not going to be like these other people that say you will make millions immediately. You won't, because it takes work ethic. As a Christian, we are called to a higher standard of stewardship, which means doing the work, doing the things. So, but I am very confident that if somebody started this, even if they just continued what they learned and did not stop for 12 months, I have helped so many people that I honestly would probably give you your money back if you did the work, because I know that it works. But it takes discipline. It takes saying that I don't want to be in the same place a year from now, so I'm willing to do the things that I'm willing to track. I'm willing to time map. But I will promise you, wherever you're at financially, if you haven't seen exceedingly and abundantly, and I'm telling you, things are about ready to happen, and one of two things is going to happen. You're going to get it, and then you're not going to have the skills, and you're not going to grab all of the financial things that the Lord has for you, because it's not just about that first amount of money. It's about how can we make it grow? How can we expand it? And the ones that are doing that, you're going to see some major acceleration, because God needs people to be able to carry financial wealth so it can fund the things that we need it to be funded for as Christians. We complain all the time about, well, this program, that program. Well, if you could fund a program that was the opposite of that can reach all kinds of people, imagine the impact. Well, it takes something. And so if you're wanting to do that, then I am super confident that a year from now, you will not be in the same place, because I have seen it transform people over and over and over. I know it works. It's funny. I happen to find several of my things, and it's like God's reminding me, this was exactly 10 years ago. I wrote this article that it hasn't changed, and that it will work. So there's hope. And here's the thing, you can do the DYIs. I have given you a ton of things. Just take it in one bite at a time, but don't stop. So meaning you're going to focus on it every 30 minutes to an hour a day, making time for it. Maybe 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening. So, okay, we've been on for over an hour. I originally said I was only going to do 30 minutes. You got an extra bonus. Drop questions in here, and we will have one last session tomorrow. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.